back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Hallie and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited for today's video. Today we are going to be reading the second and the third books in the ACOTAR series. I'm so excited. I read ACOTAR a couple of weeks ago, and ever since finishing it, I have been looking forward to getting to these books so much. In the video that I read ACOTAR in, I think I rated it like a 4.5 or 4.75. I ended up updating my rating to a 5 because I just kept thinking about it. The characters just stayed with me. The plot stayed with me. Honestly, I didn't really have any issues with the book. Like, I don't know why I didn't rate it 5 stars right away. I don't know. But all my friends have also just recently finished the ACOTAR series, so they have all been talking about it, and I need to know what happens. My sister just finished reading it. Literally everyone around me has just finished reading the series, and I need to know what goes down in this. I'm just so excited. And in ACOTAR, we got a little hint of romance and spice, but apparently from the second book on, I'm pretty sure the spice kind of like increases. And one thing about me is I love a good spicy book, and apparently this is just like an intro into fairy spice, which a lot of people end up just loving. So I am so excited to be introduced into this whole new genre of romance. Apparently I am going to be just in love with boys with wings. So I'm so ready for this. This is going to be a non-spoiler reading vlog, but I will have full spoiler reviews and all that stuff at the end of the video for all of my girlies who have read this, because I'm gonna need someone to talk to about this. I know that stuff is about to go down and I'm not prepared. But if you are like me and you are a girly who just loves a good spicy book, I have a feeling that you are also going to love the sponsor of today's video, Bellesa. Bellesa is a bi-woman company for all things sexual wellness. Their mission is to empower everyone to embrace, explore, and celebrate their sexuality, which I love. And I'm actually so excited for this because together, Bellesa and I are going to be sending out free vibrators and gift cards to everyone who signs up for my giveaway. So really quickly, I wanted to just show you a couple of my favorites. First of all, they come in waterproof USB-C rechargeable cases made from premium quality silicone. This one right here is called the Pebble. I love it, first of all, because it's light pink, and we all know I love pink. It's just so cute. But I really love this one because it is ergonomically built to fit perfectly in your hand. This vibrator has suction and vibration, both controlled independently with no annoying pattern modes. That's a huge thing. Another one of my favorites is this one. This is called the Thump. The color, again, is just so beautiful. And I low-key feel like this one kind of matches my current read. Hold on. I feel like it's giving off A Court of Mist and Fury. And something about that just makes me so happy inside. Like, hello, hottie reader girl. Okay, matching vibrators with her books. That's iconic. But the Thump is literally the toy that does it all. It vibrates, suctions, and thumps. Genuinely, this one vibrator could replace all of your other toys, which is so nice if you're in need for something more compact and discreet. You literally just need this one and it will satisfy all of your needs. Right here, you can see this is actually how you can do wireless charging in the case. You just connect those two like this, and then as long as the case is charged, it will always be wirelessly charging inside, which I just think is so cool because it just makes charging it so convenient and discreet. Like, you literally just have to plug in the case. So make sure to click the link in my description to join my giveaway. Literally everyone who signs up will be winning something. It's a win-win either way. And thank you again so much to Bellesa for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now, let's get into this book because I am so excited. I actually have been listening to the audiobook here and there for the last few days, but nothing too crazy. I'm on page 159 right now, which in the grand scheme of things isn't too far. Honestly, I think this is going to be the longest book that I have read to this date, so I am a little bit intimidated, but we're gonna persevere and I'm gonna do it. And honestly, I feel like because I'm already so into the plot and connected to the characters, it's not gonna be that difficult because Sarah J. Maas's writing is just so good. When I tell you from the second page of this book, I was already just immediately back in the story and fully engrossed in this. It's kind of crazy because, as we all know, it usually takes me a good like 50 pages to like even care about the characters in a book. So we're talking 2 pages. That's insane. So yeah, I am going to read A Court of Mist and Fury. I will update you guys in a little bit once I get a little farther. Like I said, it's gonna be non-spoiler, so I'll keep things vague until the end and then we'll spill all the tea together. So let's get to reading. Okay. Holy crap. I have read a couple of chapters. I don't know, I read like 50 pages or something, but the amount of information that has been laid out just in the last 50 pages is honestly insane. And surprisingly, I'm not getting as confused as I thought I would. Like, I really just felt like I was going to end up being so lost, especially in these thicker books where like the world building is a lot more. And I knew going into this that there was going to be new characters introduced. In the last 50 pages, we met 4 new characters, and I'm pretty sure that these are going to end up being like really important characters to the series. I feel like at least 2 of them, I've seen their names pop up on social media. I don't remember anything that they said, thankfully. Any spoilers that I have seen, I feel like are gone from my brain, so that's really nice. But yeah, we met 4 new characters I think are going to be really important. I really like them all so far. We got a lot of backstory on like their whole history and like how they kind of come into play with everything. So I feel like this also was kind of a turning point in the story as well, because not something happened, but like there was just a plot development. I feel like that's all I'll say, and I feel like I can kind of see the direction things are going. I already feel like there's been multiple things where it just was not even in the realm of things that I thought would be the plot of this book, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I'm really enjoying this so far, especially with the introduction of these new characters. It just makes me so excited to get farther into the world and see now the plot development that has to do with them and their story and what their involvement is going to be in the plot. So I don't know, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. I'm eating it up. I just wanted to give you guys an update. I think I'm going to try and read another like 100-ish pages, 100 and something pages, make our goal the halfway point right now. And then we will check in once I have gotten halfway through the book and see how things are going. Oh my gosh, okay. It is so much later. I literally have been just like laying in bed reading this, and I'm having such a good time. Literally stopping reading and like taking a break to talk feels like I have been aggressively sucked out of this world because I've just been so engrossed in it. I love days where I have a long stretch of time to read in a row because it makes it so much easier to get lost in the world whenever you can read for like a really long period of time. Because sometimes I just have like a couple hours at the end of the day during the week and I want to read more, but then I'm like way too tired. So thoroughly enjoying this. I did make it a little over halfway. I'm on page 338. So I made it to chapter 35. This is so good. This is so good. This whole time that I've been reading, I have been writing down little notes in my notes app for things that I want to talk about whenever we do like a full spoiler review, because things will just happen and I'm like, and now, you know, I understand what people meant, because people would be like, oh, don't worry, like it'll get so much better, but I personally really enjoyed the first book. So while I was reading it, I was like, what do people mean it's not good? What do people mean it's not good and it gets way better? How could it get so much better? Because the first one to me was already so good. And now I understand. It's not that the first book is bad compared to this one. I just feel like they're very different, because in my opinion, the first book, for like at least the first half of it, maybe even like 3/4 of it, felt like just a cozy fantasy, and there wasn't too much action or like craziness going on. Like it was very much cozy fantasy vibes. And then towards the end of the book, it just gets absolutely insane. Like it's just nuts. And in this book, you pretty much pick off like exactly where the last book ended. So I feel like that's why a lot of people say, oh, this one is so much better, because you're basically picking up right when that one ended. And at that point, there's already so much more going on. So you already start off this book with so much more going on. And then there's just so much, not information in a politic way, there's just so much more world building, I guess, but again, not in a confusing way. Like honestly, the main thing that's been confusing for me is like character names. I forget who people are, and I'll have to like remind myself like who is who, because in this book specifically, there has been at least, I don't know, like 6 important characters introduced probably, and we're learning a lot about the different courts. Like in the first book, you learn only about 2 of the courts, but in this book, you get to learn about like so many of the other courts. So just so much more of the world, and it's just been so interesting. It's just been so interesting, and the romance in this one, it like has me giggling. It literally, it's so funny though, because it takes the smallest thing, like the smallest thing, and I'm like, hee hee hee, Oh my god. Oh, I'm blushing. Like, it's so dumb, but like the smallest thing and I'm just like, oh my god, stop, because you're making me blush. But I don't know, this like makes me really excited for the third book, A Court of Wings and Ruin, because people say that that book specifically is a lot more like politic heavy and plot heavy and things like that. So I'm really excited to get to that one because I've never read a fantasy book that was like a little bit more heavy on the politics and world building and stuff like that. And even like just what we're getting of that in this book, I'm absolutely eating up. I don't know, I'm just loving this. I love all the side characters that have been introduced. I don't know, it's just so good. It's just so good. So anyway, I have made it past the halfway mark and I actually am gonna walk over to my sister's apartment and read with her. She is in the Throne of Glass series. I think that she's reading Crown of Midnight, which is the second book in the series. But I don't even know if I've ever mentioned this, but my sister actually just recently moved right next door to me. So it's really cool. I get to see her all the time, and if I ever want to hang out with her, I can literally just walk to the other hallway and be at her apartment. And it's really cool because she actually just got back into reading. She actually was a reader when we were kids, and she's the only reason that I even read like Twilight and Hunger Games, because she had owned them and then she told me to read them, and so I did. But she just finished ACOTAR, like I said earlier, and she's reading Throne of Glass, so I'm gonna walk over there and read for a little bit, see how far I get, and then I will check in with you guys a little bit later whenever I get back home. I forget her name, but it's like made out of.
Oh my gosh!
Okay,
wait.
I know.
That's disgusting. Oh my god. Can I see your book so I can see how far? Oh my gosh, because then because like something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta read, and then something else happens and you'll be like, ah! I subbed this one and ACOWAR.
Oh, perfect. I was like, what?
Yeah. No.
Do you see my face immediately? No, I'm nervous.
It's so good.
Oh my god, he called her my lady. I would just cry. Oh my god, I accidentally flipped 2 pages instead of 1, so I started reading line and I was like,
what is happening?
Oh no. I literally just got butterflies. Oh no! I'm so nervous. I literally have like 2 sentences left and I'm like, I don't want to turn the page. Is it...
Where are you on the page?
If I'm not gonna like him, I'm not reading the rest of the book.
Hell yeah, I love him. I'm in love with the man.
Excuse me? Wait, hold on, stop. Can she not do anything right now? I'm like, hold on, I just need to take a deep breath.
I warned you.
They're poisoned. Please stop. The way that she was just useless. Where are you? I was looking for you too. You're getting so cute. Good morning, you guys. It is the next morning. Last night we made it to chapter 50, and I was going to stop earlier than chapter 50 because it was like 2 in the morning. I literally stayed at my sister's apartment until like 2 in the morning. I wasn't even gonna keep reading, but then she kept telling me, because this is her favorite book out of the series, so she kept telling me like, oh, just get to this chapter, but then once you get to this chapter, you're not gonna want to stop until you get to this chapter, and then something happens here, and you're not gonna want to stop from here to here. And so then I kept going, but I made myself stop at chapter 50 because she said that chapters 54 to 56 are like and if I made it that far, then I was gonna end up finishing the book. So I made myself stop at chapter 50. First of all, it is so much fun to read a book that someone else has already read that is like their favorite book, because she knew like what scenes were happening when I would just like mention something, and then she would be like waiting for something to happen, and I would look at her and be like, oh my god, and she's like, I know, I wanted to tell you, and I was like, oh my god. And it was so cool because she is reading the Throne of Glass series, so even though she's not reading the same series, the fact that she's also in the Sarah J Maas world at the same time as me was just so cute and fun. Like, I just loved that so much. Anyway, we have 120 pages left, so I am going to finish the book. I'm so afraid. Every single one of my friends and my sister have said that they ugly cried at the end of this book, so I'm honestly like afraid of what is to come and to see if I'm going to end up crying. I feel like a lot of times with action things, like I don't cry. There was definitely something I could have cried at the end of the first book and I didn't cry. Honestly, I think the only book I've ever really like cried at like that was The 7-Year Slip, and that was so unexpected for me. I don't know if it's because I was just already emotional, but I feel like I just don't cry like that to books. So I'm really interested to see. I say that and then watch me just cry at every single one of these. But anyway, I'm so excited and nervous to finish this book. We are going to finish this book this morning, and then I kind of do really want to at least start A Court of Wings and Ruin as well. Part of me feels like once I finish this, so I'm just gonna want to binge it. So we might just go straight into A Court of Wings and Ruin right after this. But let's go ahead and finish this. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. My sister. Oh my god.
Wait, what part are you at?
A paragraph into the next chapter from where I stopped last night. If I read that last night, I would not have stopped. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so happy. That literally just gave me butterflies. I was like,
I need you to call me so I can watch you read chapter 54.
okay. Love you, bye. This is so good. This is so good. I just have butterflies. I can't even, I just need to chill out. I don't know. I don't know. I made it to this chapter and my sister wanted me to FaceTime her.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Are you kidding me? I literally said that yesterday.
I was like, oh my gosh, I need you to keep reading.
I wasn't sure I was breathing. Same girl. I think my heart actually just stopped. Oh my god. The way that I just wish that Mark could read my mind.
Did you see what he said? Did you see what he said yet or no?
No.
Tell me when you read right past that part.
Oh, that's so crazy. Oh my god. I literally love him so much. I love him so much. Are you kidding me?
I love him.
Then eat. This man is shaking. Are you literally kidding me? Oh my god. I love him so much. The butterflies, I can feel them in my kneecaps. I feel them in my kneecaps.
I'm like giggling and like kicking my
Oh my, this was so good. I'll give you my non-spoiler review right now, and then I'm gonna just record my full spoiler review right now, but I'll put it at the end of the video because I feel like I need to get my thoughts out immediately while everything is fresh in my brain. Anyway, 6 stars. This is 6 stars. So good. Hold on. gather my thoughts. I can't even speak, comprehend, think. It was so good. It was so good. It just makes me want to giggle. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go through just like different aspects of the book that I loved since I can't go over details with you guys. The romance in this was so good in such an unexpected way. Like, yes, there's spice, but it's so much deeper than that, to the point where every 2 words I just had to close the book and giggle. The fact that it just took me 4.5 hours to finish that last 100 pages because I just kept stopping and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, you know how I'm always talking about Powerless by Lauren Roberts and Peyton and Kai, and this is another Peyton and Kai. This is, it's so good. Second of all, the plot, the twists, the turns, so much happened in this. So much happened. I feel like I've lived a lifetime through this book. Please read this. And now I understand what people are saying when they're like, it just gets better. Like and I was like, how can it get better? I feel so stupid for saying this because this is just, it's so good. I feel like I don't even know what else to say. I don't even know what else to say. It's so good. I need to start the next book. I'm gonna record my full spoiler review because I have things to say. For all my non-spoiler girlies, let's start the 3rd book. For my full spoiler people, I'll see you in a little bit to discuss what just went down in this because this is insane. Hello, you guys. Okay, so it has been not a couple days, but one day. It's not the next day. It's the day after that. So it's been a day. I ended up reading quite a bit yesterday and I didn't end up recording. I actually ended up listening to a lot of the audiobook for this yesterday. This book, you get right back into the world, and not only like back into the world, but in this book, there's a war going on. So it's not only just romantasy, like you have your love interests and whatever, but on top of that, there's very intense plot developments happening left and right. And I've never read a book like this before where a war is happening and there's all these different plots and enemies and like it's very intense, but in such a good way. So I ended up listening to a lot of the audiobook while I just like got stuff done around the house. And I have to say the dramatized, I think it's called the dramatized audio for this book specifically is so good because the war scenes, I was kind of getting confused when I was like reading the war scenes when it would describe like this general attacked this general and oh my gosh, she's over here and blah, 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 blah. Like it was confusing in my brain to like keep track of everything. But in the audiobook, there's like music and war cries and all the different characters' voices, and you can tell who's talking to who, and like it was just so good. It literally felt like watching an action movie. So that was honestly just so entertaining and so good. And then this morning and here and there throughout the day, I've also been able to pick up the book and read a little bit, but I made it to chapter 67. So I'm on my last 100 pages of the book. And so I was like, okay, I need to stop so I can finish this book with you guys because stuff is just, it's been crazy the whole time, but it's really like heating up. It's really getting crazy. Yeah, I feel like there's not much that I can really say about this book because it's the 3rd book in the series, and so I feel afraid to say anything and accidentally spoil something, if that makes sense, because 3 books into a series where the books are like huge, I feel like there's just so much that happens in these books. So yeah, I will say I am thoroughly enjoying this book. I think that overall so far have enjoyed A Court of Mist and Fury a little bit more, but I genuinely think that that is just because, in my opinion, A Court of Mist and Fury, so much more of the plot is so focused on the romance aspect of the story. And like I said, in this book, there is a war going on. And I think this is like what most people say too. But in this book, there's a war going on. And so it's entertaining in a different way. Like that book is very entertaining and heartwarming and romancy and whatever. And this book is like entertaining as in I'm going to grip your attention because you don't know who is going to attack who and what's going to happen next and what's their secret plan, and that's what this is about. So still very good. I have not been bored throughout this whole thing, which is literally crazy because I'm on page 600 600, and I have not been bored at all, which is crazy. This is definitely the longest book that I have read so far on my reading journey, and so the fact that I haven't been bored at all just tells you how good of a writer Sarah J. Maas is, because there are 350 page books where I am literally bored, and so for me to have read 2 of those at this point and I have not been bored at all, and I'm so excited to see what happens, is just crazy. But yeah, so good. You don't get as much of the romance in this book. There has been spice, there's obviously been romance scenes, but like I said, it's just not like the sole, I mean, the sole base of that book wasn't romance either. Like there was a lot of plot development and character development, but there was just a lot more emphasis, I guess, on the romance. I don't know how to explain it. Listen, don't judge me on my reviews. I genuinely don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just here for a good time, and I'm having a good time. We are on the last 100 pages and we're gonna finish it today. So I'll give you guys my reactions while I'm finishing this, and then we will do our final review. I'm so nervous to see what happens, because the place that I paused at is like some information is about to be revealed and it could really change the tides of what's happening, and it's just so good. I literally cannot believe how good this is. I was telling Marky one thing before I'm done rambling. I'm so sorry. I was telling Marky I was reading one of the war scenes and I was like, I cannot believe the way that I have butterflies, but like nothing romantic is going on. It's about the fact that I'm about to watch this man run into battle, and this is the first time that we're seeing him fight, and I'm so excited to see how much of a baddie he is on the battlefield. Who am I? And like the girls are watching him run off into battle and swooning over the fact that he's like such a good warrior. I'm like, yes, I'm right there with you. All those girlies on the top of the hill watching our men run into battle and how hot it is. So yeah. Let's finish this book and then I will talk to you guys in a little bit. finished the book. It was literally so good. I can't even process all of the emotions that I just went through, even just through the last 100 pages of this book. One thing about Sarah J. Maas is she's gonna make you feel the book. It's kind of crazy. But now to get to the non-spoiler review for A Court of Wings and Ruin. Honestly, this will be pretty short and sweet because I can't say much about this without spoiling, I feel like. I really enjoyed this book. I was really excited to get to this book because, like I said, I knew that there was like a war going on in this, but that's like literally all I knew. But I was really interested to see how I would like a fantasy book with a little bit more politics and like with a war going on, and like it's just a little bit more serious. But I really enjoyed it. Like the plot just kept thickening. It was so good. It was so good. You still get a little bit of romance. I laughed, I cried, I felt all of the emotions. And because this is the third book in the series and they're like very long books, I feel so connected to the characters in the world. I cannot believe that this world is not real. It actually kind of hurts that it's not real, but it was so good. Did not disappoint, and I'm so excited to finish the series. So that's pretty much all I will say about this because I don't want to spoil anything for you, but if you're considering starting the ACOTAR series, please read it. I put it off for so long and I don't know why. I wish that I read it sooner. Do yourself a favor and get into the series. It's so good. But if you don't want to see any spoilers, I'm about to start the full spoiler review section of this video, so now would be the time to click off if you don't want to get anything spoiled for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see me read the last 2 books of this series. Maybe I can make another one of these videos finishing the ACOTAR series, and then I want to get into Throne of Glass after that. I'm so excited. There's so much more for me in the world of Sarah J. Maas, and I'm so excited. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss that, but click off right now if you don't want spoilers. Right now. Okay, hello all my full spoiler girlies. I know this is weird because it's past me and well, not in the future, but just it's nice to see you again. We are going to be talking full spoiler review for A Court of Mist and Fury. Girl, first of all, let me open my notes because there's some stuff. I ended up not taking notes towards the end of the book because stuff was just happening left and right, but it's pretty fresh in my brain, so I feel like I'll be able to remember. Going over some of the things that I wrote down. Okay, because I started off this book Team Tamlin. I like to call him Tammy. It just, you know, that's Tammy. But I started off this book fully Team Tammy, and I couldn't understand like how I was gonna end up hating him because looking back, I see now how like during the trials and like under the mountain and whatever, like he literally didn't do anything. Like he didn't try, he just gave up. But while I was reading the first book, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about the fact that Feyre loved him so much that she was willing to die for him. So I'm like, how could they not end up together? She loves him enough to die for him, you know, how could they not end up together? But obviously, looking back on that, but anyway, so the first thing that kind of made me like sway away from that was when he locked her in the freaking house. That's such a red flag, and especially because he understands how much torment she's still in from being literally imprisoned under a mountain, and she's sitting there telling him that she is depressed staying in the house and like she has this new strong body and she wants to go out and like be with him even if she's not going to fight, like just let her leave and go somewhere. And he literally just like turns a blind eye and then locks her in the house and has the audacity to cry to her about it and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna change, I'm really trying, and then immediately locks her in the house. Like, are you literally kidding me? No. And also, I was talking to my sister about the fact that freaking Tamlin, she would be having nightmares and like throwing up and all this stuff. Like, there's no way he wasn't awake and knew that she was like struggling and suffering and never like made an attempt to help her at all. Like, how could you love someone so much and then just like turn a blind eye while they're struggling? And I know that his excuse is like, oh, well, I'm damaged too, and I this and I that, and she like let it go because she was like, you know, he's dealing with his own things, like he has his own nightmares. But can we talk about the fact that Rhys literally had been tortured for 50 years? For 50 years. But no, Tamlin can't comfort her because he's also struggling and he's also, no. Tamlin is just weak and could never because he's a baby. Looking back on that is just so annoying because comparing the way that Tamlin is and the way that Rhys loves her, regardless of the bond, like Rhys gives up everything for everyone else, not even just her. It's like Rhys thinks about everyone and puts everyone first, whereas Tamlin literally only thinks about himself and then he cries about it. Like he's just rude and then he just, anyway. I understand. I don't like Tampon anymore, okay? Second of all, I absolutely love all of the side characters in this book. The little friend group vibe, I love that so much. I feel so connected to all of the side characters. I love how we got to see a little bit more of Nesta and Elaine in this book. I know that like Nesta has some annoying moments, but I really do have hope and like I can see how she could end up being such a cool, badass character. So I'm so excited to get to her book. I know that the 5th book is about her, and it makes sense because it's called Court of Silver Flames, and she was talking about how she's like always like burning inside with her emotions. Like I'm so excited for that now. But I loved the side characters. They just added so much to the story, which obviously I'm pretty sure this is like found family vibes. Like I'm pretty sure that's what people mean whenever they say that. Also, can we talk about the way that Rhys and Feyre are together? This is my Roman Empire. This is now my Roman Empire. I love them together. When I tell you, it took me like 30 minutes to get through one chapter because every other word I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And then I was on FaceTime with my sister while I was reading it. So literally everything he said, I'm like, oh my god, he said this. And then I would like read it twice because I'm reading it out loud to her to tell her what I'm giggling over. And then we would giggle about it together because I just love Reese so much. It's like, it's just, I had butterflies. I literally told my sister, I was like, I have butterflies and I can feel it in my kneecaps. I love him so much. Oh my god. And whenever Valeris was getting attacked and Feyre was such a baddie, she literally lit herself on fire, stabbed him, and then winnowed out at the last second by the ground. And then he called her the protector of the rainbow. Even that, the fact that Reese, no matter how protective he is over her or how much like he loves her, he always gives her the choice. And I love that so much. Even if he's like so against it, he's like, I'll never be like him. It's always your choice. It's always your choice. And she's like, you're not gonna be mad at me for blocking you out. And he's like, you should be proud of yourself. I love that. I love that. This man, gold, pure gold. I love him so much. That last scene though, that had me stressed out. Like I was kind of excited, no, low-key, I was kind of excited for Nesta and Elaine to like become fairies because I want to be a fairy. So even though they're like protesting it and stuff, and like it was really sad to like read about how everyone was like crying, like don't do this because they could die. I knew that they weren't gonna die. So I was just like, yeah, we're all gonna be eternal forever. So I know that that was like a bad thing, but I was low-key excited that they were getting turned into fairies. But I cannot believe that Lucian is Elaine's mate. That's crazy. I did not see that coming. That's absolutely nuts. And I kind of don't like it because that means Tamlin, like, is he gonna be around longer? Because Lucian is Tamlin's closest whatever. And Tamlin is just so annoying. The fact that he betrayed them and traded them in and whatever all to get her back, and she doesn't even want you. Oh my god. Sorry, this is like so chaotic, but this is just how I feel. But the fact that they secretly not just got married, but she's the High Lady. Is that what it's called? The High Lady? I don't even remember what it's called. The way he said she is my equal. She's not just my wife. Like she will wear my crown. Are you literally kidding me? I need to call my sister. I literally just cannot believe how good this was. Like I had such high expectations for this, but 6 stars across the board. I could not rate it anything less than 6 stars because I enjoyed this from start to finish. From the first page, honestly, I just was immediately put back into the story. I love Feyre. I love Reese. I love the side characters. I love the plot. The romance had me giggling. I felt butterflies. This was so good. So good. So anyway, now that my aggressive review of that is over, we'll hop over to my full spoiler review of A Court of Wings and Ruin, which I will be recording at a different time than this, so cue the aggressive hair, makeup, and outfit change. The roller coaster that I just went on. First thing I have to say, when Reese died, I literally called my sister and I told her that I was DNFing the book. I was like, genuinely, I'm not finishing it. If he's not there, there's no ACOTAR for me. Like if he's not there, I don't care about the rest of the series. I'm not reading it. Like I'm not gonna do it. And she's like trying to get me to finish reading it without like telling me what happens. And I'm like, I have no hope anymore. Why? I hate everyone and everything. You know that TikTok sound that's like, all this work and what did it get me? Yeah. That's how I felt. I was just absolutely devastated, which I'm sure every one of you were as well, because what the literally, how dare she? Then everyone came together and saved him, which no one is more deserving of this than him. Genuinely, no one is more deserving because he has sat there and sacrificed himself time and time again to save everybody without them even knowing. So I'm so happy about that. Honestly, the whole time, whenever it started talking about like how only Feyre would be able to fix whatever because she was unmade and then made, I thought she was going to end up being the one dying again, and then either she would not come back and like that would end her part of the books where it's like her perspective, because I know that the next, well actually I don't know if Court of Frost and Starlight is in her perspective, but I know that A Court of Silver Flames isn't. So I was honestly really concerned about her dying, and then like that's why, I mean, I don't know. Luckily that was not the case, but holy crap, literally so much happened in this book. I feel like reading back to the first chapter, it feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah, like first chapter, she's still in the spring court with Tammy, which is crazy. And I loved that part of the book. I loved her being like a little secret spy. I loved watching her just like set her little traps. At the end, I did kind of feel bad because, but Tamlin is so annoying. It's like, do I feel bad? I don't know. Not really. But I was giggling to myself whenever she made him jealous of Lucian and then slammed the door in his face. 'Cause I'm like, Go off, queen. And I can't believe that Lucian ended up going back with her to the night court. I'm really interested to see if we get anything further of Lucian and Elaine in future books, because at first whenever it was like announced that Lucian and Elaine were mates, I wasn't vibing with it. Like I wasn't vibing with it in the way that I want like Nesta and Cassian to be together, and I love Feyre and Rhys. It was like not the same feeling. I was like, ugh, she's stuck with Lucian. Like it didn't even feel like, oh my god, she gets to be fated to him. It's like, ugh, she's stuck to Lucian. I mean, I love Lucian, but I just feel like I wanted them to all have boys with wings. I think also the reason that I was feeling that way too is because I feel like Lucian is a package deal with Tampon, and I don't want her to be stuck dealing with Tampon, or like, I don't know. I just felt a little bit disappointed. I mean, I don't know, because Lucian was really nice to Feyre. I don't know. I had conflicting feelings about that. And by the end, I had a little bit more hope for like where it might go, but I really want to just see more of their relationship development, to see like their banter together and like how they do together and if that works out. But they did also mention the fact that the bond is breakable. And I don't know if that was mentioned for a specific reason to kind of set up like, oh, like she's going to end up breaking the bond. It's going to be devastating for Lucian, but he'll be okay. I don't know. So I'm very interested to see where that goes. Also, Nesta's character development in this, I feel like was so good. It was so good. We got to see her be like a little bit more emotionally available, and her admitting like, oh, I don't want to be seen as a coward, and I'm gonna learn to do this and I'm gonna learn to do that, and seeing her slowly become more vulnerable with Cassian and like showing up on the field and holding Feyre's hand and telling her that she looked pretty. Like, I don't know, those were such small things, but especially the part where they rescued Elaine and then came home and they were snuggling in bed and just like being sisters. That was such a wholesome moment that you never would have seen coming based off of like where their relationship started at. So like that was so good, and I'm genuinely so excited to get to Nesta's book, because as many annoying moments happened, I truly love Nesta for who she is. So I'm very excited to get to Nesta's book as well. I think I'm gonna grade this 5 stars. It was definitely so good. I just can't believe that I did not get bored throughout this book because of how thick it is. I genuinely cannot believe that I made it through a 700-page book and enjoyed all of it, and I feel like every single part of this book is useful information. I don't know, I'm so excited to get farther in the series, and I love these characters. I feel like they're a part of my heart and soul at this point. I will gladly join the Sarah J. Maas cult. I will. That is my final review for A Court of Wings and Ruin. If you guys want to see me read the last 2 books in the series, let me know if that's something you would be interested in seeing. I would love to make another video like this, just like finishing out the series. But yeah, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that, or just other reading vlogs in general. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!